Good morning, my dear students. Very happy to meet you in this session. So, today we are going to see about the translation studies. It is a continuous part that we have. This unit is a third unit that we are going to see. And in this unit, we have already discussed about the translation. What is translation and what is a main part, what plays very important role the translation, already, right? So once again we recall it and we'll move on to a new topic, the culture and translation. Culture plays very important role in translation. That is what we are going to see in this topic. First we'll recall, right? So what is translation is. Translation is very important role, and this translation study, it deals with the systematic study of the theory, and it divides into four types. We have a number of translation. That we have literary translation and professional translation, technical translation, administrative translation. We have a number of translation here. Now we are going to see about the literary translation, how we will be translating one work into other work. That's what we have already seen. That is called source language, right? And other one is called the target language. For example, an author is going to translate a work, okay, from English, from the source language to his own mother tongue, right? That is his own target language, how he is using, how we should want to use it as an author, how we should want to translate it. We have already seen the principles of terms, right? So that original text of its meaning, it should not change from the source language. For example, if you're going to translate one fictional work from English, okay, that is your source language, where you are taken from that fictional, you should want to translate it into your mother tongue, our mother tongue, right? So that is our target language. So that accuracy, the original text from the source language to the target language, it should not change. The meaning of the text, it should not change. So that is the first principle of the translation that we should want to say it out. The second one is the form. You know what is form is. In literature, we have some forms. Poetry, we will be following one form, and then in fiction we'll be following one form. In drama we have a number of forms. So that form, the ordering the words, for example, when you are translating from English to Tamil, you should want to be very conscious, right? So how, for example, in English we have some order, right? SVO pattern, we'll be following. Subject plays very important, next to that subject verb plays very important, after that only we'll be going for the object, adjective, adverbs and all, etc, etc. So in Tamil, in mother tongue, we'll be placing always object at first, right? So then we'll be going for the subject at last. So this is what the form we will be following. The English form will be differ, and then Tamil form will be differ. Accordingly, we have to change the order of words. An idea should be matched. Same like what English conveys, same Tamil should also convey. Next one is and then the style and clarity is very important when we are translating the idioms and all plays very, very important role. We should want to be very conscious. So all those things we have already seen. So let we see what the next topic we are going to deals with today, right? So next one is culture and translation. So it will be moreover in the third topic that we are going to see here, the culture, right? So how translation plays very important role, we have already seen it. So what is there in culture? What is culture? Why culture plays very, very important role in translation? That is what we are going to see here. So culture translation, it is a practice of translation while respecting and showing culture difference. We are Tamilians, will be following different culture, right? So we have a number of culture. For example, we'll be following our own culture, mother tongue culture. What are all? So you have when you are translating source language, the English fiction, into Tamil, you cannot able to go with their own culture, traditions. The same we cannot able to see it in our own culture. For example, in Tamil language, in Tamil culture, after marrying, right, we will have Mangal Sutra. What is Mangal Sutra? We will be carrying this thali. Tamil நம்ம சொல்லணும் அப்படின்னா தாலி அப்படின்னு சொல்லுவோம். So the same we cannot able to see it in the abroad culture. They are not wearing any yellow robe. If we want to translate the same thali, and we should want to go with some other meaning, because our culture is different, our cultural marriage is different, and then abroad culture marriage is different. They'll be wearing only ring. Okay, we'll be wearing the ring in our toe, right? That we'll be calling it as metti. So they won't wear there. So we have n number of cultural difficulties when we are come across while translating our mother tongue language to other language. So this is what the translation plays very important role. So culture plays very, very important role, because my culture is different from their own culture, but I am translating their work into my mother tongue. So there will be the clash between the culture and translation, but culture plays very important role. Whenever I'm reading at abroad novels, like Japanese novels or Chinese novels or American novel, or else Sri Lankan novel, I can able to learn. I can able to learn not only the fiction or novel or drama, whatever it may be, whatever journal may be. From that, I can able to learn many culture from their habituates, right? So they'll be following different culture. You know, the African literature, they have many restrictions, many religious things they'll be including, and even we also have many rituals and all those things, right? So for example, kuttu velakku we'll be doing. So abroad people, they don't know what is kuttu velakku, what is all those things. We'll be using often, we have a number of things to be discussed, so they won't follow all those things and all, right? So these are the things that we face many problems when we are translating one work to other work. So the culture also plays very important role. The kalacharam, culture is none other than the kalacharam. What are the things we are following it, that when we are translating into some other language, we are facing many problems. That is what we are going to see it in this PPT, right? So a nation, it has its own culture and language. You know, in this PPT you come across that we have n number of nations. For example, she is in Japanese, maybe, and she will be a Negro, the African, and they are all Negroes. And here is an English, British people, and here they'll be having some Chinese people. So we have n number of things, that she is an Indian, right? So a nation, they have n number of own culture and they are following their own language. Okay, for example, Japanese, what she is wearing, that costume is different from what she is wearing, the sari, right? So sari, only Indian people we come to know what is sari, how we should want to drape the sari, and then what are the things to be, will keep the name for the sari. We have half sari, we have full sari, we have traditional sari, we have synthetic sari, we have cotton sari, we have a number of things to be followed, right? So this is our culture. We will be wearing the sari for the functions like marriage, or the functions like the traditional functions, that we will be wearing all those things, right? So these culture, we cannot expect the same to the Japanese member, because they have their own culture, they have their own traditions to be followed. So it will be reciprocated in their own work. For example, she is an Indian and she is writing a novel, and in that novel she is explaining about what is Indian culture is, how they are getting married, okay, keeping kumkum in their forehead, and then knotting a yellow robe in their neck, and then all those things will be discussed in that novel in Tamil. So from for example, this African woman, she is taking this Tamil novel and she is reading all those things, and she will be learning the culture through that text. How she'll be learning? She'll be reading all those things. So she, the Indian marriage, they'll be wearing the sari. Without sari, there is no marriage. Okay, so the same like the men, they'll be wearing the dhotis, and these are the traditions and culture they'll be following. And then they'll keep kumkum in their forehead. They don't know what is kumkum, they don't know what is all those things, right? So they don't know what is yellow robe, why they are following all those yellow robe, and then Mangal Sutra, why they are doing all those things. So these are the confusions we'll be having. But when she read, the African women, she comes to read the transnational work, she comes to know the traditions, the cultural, the value of all those things, right? So these translation, so what we are telling, the translation plays very important role in making the cultural, that it published the universal level. This is what all about the general one. So the nation has its own culture and language. So we have nation, in that nation we will be following a number of culture and a number of language. We can able to see it in the translation work. So what is culture? How the translator deals with it, we'll see it. You know what is culture, we have already seen. So for example, I am Tamilian, I have different culture, right? So some people like American, they have own different culture. So how they'll be translating, how they are dealing with. So as a translator, it is very big task for us to translate from one source language to target language. So here we will be calling the target language as a mother tongue language, right? We should want to convey the meaning, the original text, what it says. Clear? So for example, I'm reading some English drama or a novel. I should not break that original text. So what is that original meaning? So what they going to convey, that I should want to exactly translate into my mother tongue. Okay, for that first I have to go and know about their own culture. Without their culture, I cannot able to translate their work to my mother tongue. So as a translator, I should want to deal with all those things. We'll see what are all the things that we should want to follow. The next slide. Yeah, culture, it link between the tradition and ethnic group, right? So different cultures all over the world, you know, the cultural homogeneity does not exist. You know, the cultural orumaipaadu we'll be telling, right? So we have something neutral one, that it should not be there in that. Next one constitutes the values, behavior and beliefs. When we are translating one word, that values and behaviors and beliefs, we should want to accept it, and we should want to give their own culture to the target language, how they are taking for it. So same, the translator plays very important role when he hand over all he is handing over this source language to the target language, to the readers. He should want to convey, he or she should want to convey the original meaning, the values and behavior of the source language person to the target language person. Okay, so the translator should want to know about the source language culture background and the target language cultural background. So he should want to be neutral, he should want to be very cautious in this. So that is what this topic deals with. Yeah, culture. So what is culture? We'll come to know culture, it includes the political institution, it includes the education, it includes the history, religion and customs. You know, all Tamilians will not be the same. For example, Christian Tamilian will be there, Muslim Tamilian will be there, Hindus Tamilian will be there. In that Hindu Tamilians, we have a number of things. Hindus, right? So when we see the Hindus, they'll be have different, they'll be following different religion, customs they'll be following. For example, we have a number of branches like Brahmins, like Gaundars, we have Mudaliyas, we have many, we'll be telling the caste, we'll we'll be telling all those things, right? So everything it will be included. So the caste and religion we cannot separate in this translation when we come across this cultural translation, right? So all those things will be there. Why I am telling this caste plays very important role, because the religion also plays very important role. I am Hindu. From that Hindu, I have some sub branch. In that sub branch, we'll be following different dialects. You know what is dialects? Vattara Pechumoli. For example, Tamil Nadu, Tamilian people, we are speaking Tamil. So how we are speaking, the Tamil will be different, right? According to my culture, it will be different. My dialect is different. What is my dialect? My dialect is different from yours dialect. For example, Chennai Tamil, they will be speaking that we usually tell it as a Chennai Tamil. அதுக்கு பேரே வந்து Chennai Tamil we will be telling. And then the Coimbatore people, we will be talking the Kongu Tamil. Kongu Tamil, we cannot able to separate the caste. We cannot able to separate the religion. We cannot able to separate the customs. So the Kongu Tamil is different. And in Tirunelveli Tamil, you go there, they will be speaking different Tirunelveli Tamil. So that dialect is different. This is what we call it as a Vattara Pechu Moli. That is called the dialect. So all Tamil we cannot able to say it as a one. So each dialect it will be differ. Same like the culture is plays very important role. The religions and customs will be following. All those will be different. So all those things should be executed in the target language from the source language. That is very very difficult task for the translator to translate exact work what is there in that. We'll be usually tell that is a TSL source language to the target language. Okay. So the culture, the group of people, like their language, religion, social habitudes, and then literature, when we are translating from one generation to other, so everything we should want to see it, all those things. Next, translation is an activity which inevitable involves at least two language and two culture tradition. Inevitable, we cannot able to separate it. When we are translating one language to another language, we have to concentrate on the culture. Without cultural tradition, we cannot translate any work. That is why here the translation, it is an activity which inevitable in the sense we cannot separate two languages and two culture tradition. Exactly, when you are translating the Japanese work to a Tamil culture also, the translator should want to know. The Japanese culture also she should want to know. He should want to know what is Paurnami. He should want to know what is Amavasai. So what are the culture we should want to be followed? That he is a only person who can able to give to the Chinese people, who make them to understand what is Paurnami and what are the beliefs they will be following and what are the things they will be traditionally following from one generation to other generation. And as a translator, he should want to take this word exactly to the Japanese person. He wants to make them to understand what is Paurnami, what is Amavasai, what is Kartigai Tirunal, what is Adi Nombi, all those things. So this plays very important role when he is writing the work and he makes readers to understand what all those things. So that is what the translation plays very very important role. So culture plays very important role. So translator, he influenced by the language and culture. The repeated things will be here, right? So interculture communicators and mediators. So as a translator, he should want to mediate two language and interculture communicator. He should not partial for Tamil. As a Tamilian, he should not partial for this. As a learning the Japanese, he should not partial for that too. He should want to be very neutral. The role of translator, he plays a mediator between two culture. So that is what very important. The first reader, the other culture. So same, right? So the goal of learning this translation to know about the cultural base, assumptions, and develop as intellectual identity as a result of engagement with additional culture. So these are the things that we have already seen. For example,
எக்ஸாம்பிள் ஐ ஹேவ் given here. தமிழ் அத்தைன்னு நம்ம சொல்லுவோம். ஸோ அத்தை அப்படின்னா தட் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், ரைட். சித்தி அப்படின்னா தட் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட், ரைட். ஸோ அத்தை அப்படின்னா யாரை சொல்லுவோம்? வென் the sister born to our father, right? So they will be calling us attai. Chitti, who will be calling our mother's sister, own sister, we will be calling them as chitti. But in English, when you are writing the novel, you are coming across this chitti and attai. So but when you want to translate into all other work English, how you will translate? We cannot able to find chitti word in English. We cannot able to find exact aunt word in English. So in English language they'll be calling all the people as aunt. Chitti andalo aunt, and then aunt andalo aunt. So that is what the translator, he'll be facing all those things, right? So the culture is different and the tradition is different, so we cannot exactly we can translate. So instead of that, as a translator, he should want to know in English what they'll be telling. So there is no exact word as chitti in English, so what they'll be converting into and how they are following, like mother's own sister, how they are calling it as, they'll be calling it as only aunt. So he should want to know about that. When we are translating this chitti to English, we should mention it as only aunt, not other than that word. So he should want to be very conscious in that translation. So that's what here I have exactly explained here, right? So next, home and heart, the things that we have, this is the task that I'm going to tell you. I tell you later about this task. So and you have one work to do, that you should want to translate one poem into Tamil, right? So first you translate a poem. For example, whatever poem you wish, you can take. For example, a poetry, like songs, or else Bharadiyar Padal, or else whatever you want, you can able to take, or else you can take from the source language. For example, you can take one English word poem, you can translate into our mother tongue, the target language. Then you will be facing, as a translator, you will be facing all those things. Compulsory you will be come across the cultural thing, so that we can see it in the next class, right? So thank you so much for your patient listening, and thank you. So the next will be continuing in the next slide, will be class will be continuing the same topic, the cultural and its difficulties that the translator he is following. So thank you all. Thank you, girls.